and welcome, and thanks for your company here on Match Day 2, Group Phase, Group B, Game 1, Georgia v. Germany. Carlin Gay alongside Mark Clark, and this may be the only time we see two undefeated teams go head-to-head as we take a look at the schedule today here in Group B.
Well, we said right at the top of this Group B that this is one of the toughest groups in the first phase. And then that was proved by the games yesterday. These two teams obviously came out with the wins. And it's an intriguing matchup for me because both have so many things to prove to themselves, I think, as we see them sitting there with Italy with the 1-0 record. Germany, even though they've won this competition in the past, haven't been past this first round since 09. Georgia, for the first time, have a realistic opportunity to be a real contender. It's going to be intriguing to see if Germany can get away from this up and down record they have in the last few EuroBaskets. They beat France in 13, and then France win the gold. Germany don't progress. And it's one of those, do they come out today and underline their potential and get the win? And it's very much the same for Georgia. Can Georgia build on that win yesterday?
Absolutely.
It's easy to get a win.
Yes.
You know, a tough game. Get a win, it's easy. He played great.
Let's dig a little deeper into the matchups here as we take a look at these two lineups being introduced to the crowd. First, we'll go into Germany. The first game they had, I guess, I don't want to call them the easiest competition here in the group, but they were playing Ukraine, beat them 75-63, and it really was a game that Dennis Schroeder showed his class.
Well, he underlined his role, one, as a great player, but two, as a leader of this team. And when they needed him, he stepped up, but he also found other people. He got great support from Robin Benzing. Voigtman came in and did a really nice job on the inside, but it's all around how Schroeder leads this team, and he's making people around him better because he draws so much attention.
Yeah, he had 32 points, 7 assists in the day one victory for Germany. Can they match the intensity that Georgia's going to bring? On the other side of things, Georgia had an emotional victory against Lithuania. How do they get back to that level again against Germany?
Well, as we said yesterday, they were building on the emotion of losing to them last time around. I don't think it's going to be a problem because, as you'll see in a moment, there's a huge contingent of Georgian fans. They're going to make sure this team is ready to play. If you listen to both Coach and Sengeli in the press conference yesterday, they weren't really building up yesterday's win as huge. It's just one game of a step to Turkey for the final stage. I think this is going to tell us more about the aspirations of Georgia in being a contender than absolutely anything else.
Yeah, they beat Lithuania 79-77. Lithuania had an opportunity to win the game on a last-second three attempt. That was for naught. Sengelia had 29 big points. Does he replicate that type of effort in this game, or does he need to replicate that type of effort in this game? That remains to be seen for Coach Zeros and his squad. We'll break now for the national anthem for these two teams.
And now, please stand for the national anthem. The Schlager and now come for the German national team anthem.
group phase here continues on. Match day 2, Group B. Game 1 of 3 on deck here. Starting off with Germany and Georgia, the two teams that came away with victories, or two of the 3 teams that came away with victories in match day 1. Now you take a look at the officials for this matchup, and they were a point of contention in the game that Georgia played in against Lithuania, because that was a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, I think the referees, they're the best referees in the Europe, and we've got some great referees from elsewhere around the world. And this is another physical confrontation. Coach Fleming's team's got size and strength, as has Georgia. You're going to get a look at the roster for Germany, and I think as much as Schroeder is the star and the leader, Voigtmann and anyone on the inside, but Voigtmann more than anybody else is going to have to do a great job defensively on Sangalio. He knows him so well because of Baskonia, their teammates, and it's going to be a real battle on the inside. And Jonas Voigtmann has got more size than Kuzminskas yesterday. It's whether he has the foot speed to guard one of the most impressive players in the competition. For Germany, just to finish on that, Tadar and Steiger have to start hitting shots, because they need to get some backcourt punch and balance to really support Schroeder. Yeah,
in game 1, the only players to make a 3 on the team were Benzing and Schroeder for Germany, as we take a look at Georgia's roster.
Well, and since Sadzi got injured yesterday, there's a debate about whether he'll play. They've got to look at the whole tournament as a whole, not just today. But they had Contra, and well, there's the answer. He's going to start, and Coach Ziros was not saying that yesterday in the press conference. For them to get a win with him missing time was a big win. Markoshvili yesterday, as we said in commentary, big-time player to shoot shots. Here's the 2 profile players, Sangalia and Schroeder, led their teams in scoring yesterday. And it's more for me, how does Georgia as a team stop Schroeder? Because one-on-one they won't be able to. And will Sangalia be as influential as he was yesterday? Can they bump him around a little bit more in the post and contain him on the dribble? Because he looks real quality yesterday on the dribble and in the post.
And Coach Chris Fleming hoping for much of the same from his new leader, Dennis Schroeder. We talked on day 1 how it must have been for him 2 years ago, playing under the shadows of Dirk Nowitzki and his swan song, and also playing at home. A lot of pressure on him. On the other end, Coach Ziros has his men ready and raring to go. A 2-point victory. The emotions were high in that game. How do they replicate it today?
Well, that's always the challenge, isn't it? When you're a team like Georgia or on the up, they're not used to being in this position. How do they re-establish that same feel, that same emotion, and become a tournament team? Because tournament teams are different. They do it day in, day out. They play very quickly. It's not like your normal club scenarios. You have 3 or 4 days to prepare. You got to finish the day before yesterday, get ready to play today. It's a really tough ask, and both teams have to prove they can do it today.
Keys to the matchup, but when you take a look at what both teams need to do to get a victory, on one end, do you take a look at the bigs for Germany and say that they have to make shots to keep the Georgia bigs honest on playing defense?
Well, I think that's the bigs of Germany are real key here, because they all like to step out and pop the shot. But their defensive combinations are going to be important as well in terms of guarding Sangalia and Pachulia, who we haven't even mentioned. You know, an NBA champion gets second billing against Sangalia, which shows you how good Georgia are. Those bigs have to step up for Germany, because if they don't, Georgia will just pack the middle and say to Schroeder, come on then, we'll protect the ring, you've got to try and beat us on your own.
We don't even mention Shamardini, who had a nice game in game 1 as well, who comes off the bench to give Pachulia the rest. On the other side of things, Georgia, they really attacked the middle for Lithuania. Do they go back to the well there?
I think they're going to challenge them down the middle. I think they'll go penetration by the pass. I think Schroeder and these guards will be able to contain it on the dribble. It's about how effective they can get it inside.
Georgia in the white going from left to right on your screen. The red unis for Germany, and it's Georgia basketball as we start off here. Match day 2 in Group B action, game 1. There's Pachulia, his first touch. Markoshvili pulls up. It's back iron, and Benzing pulls it down. Benzing provided the scoring when he was needed. He was the second option for Germany. Can he follow up that option today?
That's the key, but if he starts doing that, that's a great sign, because he is Robin Benzing's standing shoot guy. If he puts it on the floor, that's going to be a real plus for Germany. Poor defensive effort, though, straight down the middle.
When they started the game against Ukraine, it was a lot of standing around the perimeter for Germany, shooting threes, and then they eventually attacked the basket. So that's a good sign for the Germans, getting right at the tin early on. Here they are again. That ball is given away by Tada, and a foul, I believe it's on Bartel.
And Bartel down the other end just made a statement. They've made two statements here. Benzing down the middle like this, no help, strong finish, little left-hand lead. Great start for Germany. Down the other end, Bartel stopped Sangalia getting it in the post. That little matchup, a little bit of quickness with enough strength is a nice pass.
Gorgeous pass by Pachulia. And Marcus Vili has an easy two. I don't think he gets enough credit for his passing ability.
He's a player. He can do it all. Everyone just sees that size and rebound. Absolutely. He's got great hands.
Schroeder tried to give it over the top of the defense. Marcus Vili comes away with it. 3-on-1. Sangalia! Up hard, down hard.
Wow. Kirsten Tadal did a great job getting out of the picture. He was too far underneath. Great break by Georgia, sharing the ball off that defensive effort.
Benzing trying to quiet the crowd, left it short. Bartel, last touch by him. Georgia basketball. Already a different feel for the Germans in this game than it was the last game. They are trying to attack the rim a little bit more.
Much more aggressive in the way they're approaching it. They've been on the boards, very strong as well. So even though Georgia got that break, both teams look settled into it. Both teams look like tournament teams at the moment.
The rust is definitely knocked off after game one. Sangalia, that's an offensive foul. Great job of moving his feet. Robin Benzing stepping in there for the charge.
The great thing that Germany have when they've gone with this lineup is all three, the 3, 4, and 5, Benzing, Voigtman, and Bartel, are very interchangeable, very similar physically. So they can switch and share Sangalia out as we get a highlight replay.
My goodness.
Wow. So that little combination of all three is going to be really important for Germany, and Benzing gets another little advantage for Germany early.
Foul there, that's going to be called on Sinaze. That's his first.
Tunzade he's always the guy that makes things happen for Georgia, offensively or defensively. That's why Dixon is almost, at times, you forget him, he's doing a great job. Because him and Marcus Vili, they've got the emotion with this Georgian team. They're the people looking for steals, getting at the referee as well.
Bartel can't handle it again. That's 2 turnovers early on for Bartel.
Yeah, Marcus Vili again, you say a lot of time doesn't get enough credit. He put enough body on Bartel then to just make the turnover happen.
Some pressure shown by Germany. They want Georgia, I guess, to handle the rock full court.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to go after Dixon to make him work, because he went a lot of minutes 2 days ago.
He did. That was his shot that missed. Back the other way. He's going to have to try and keep up with this man who was unbelievable in game one. Tada driving. He was intimidated by that Georgia D.
Absolutely intimidated.
Marcus Vili on the drive. Good rotation there by...
I like the way Coach Fleming has constructed this defense, because he will have foot speed issues on closeouts, as you just saw. But his defensive organization for help was right there.
That was Voigtman who was coming over to prevent the easy layup. You made a great point, and after their win against Ukraine, their scramble defensively was kind of controlled scrambling.
Yeah, always within rules. This is where we're going to force it, and they say it helps you scramble if you know where you're trying to force it.
Sangalia tried to get to the tin, and he was hacked. He loves that low post, mid post type of offense. Not afraid to play back to the basket.
Well, that's 2 fouls on Bartel, and there is depth on this German bench as Thies will step into the game. on his way to the Celtics next year, so it's not a tough little replacement. You know, they don't lose too much.
Tice watching Senghelia right now. Strips it away. Good defense, bodied him up and was able to get the poke away. Schroeder using the screen and lost the handle. Senghelia driving to the floor and able to save it and gets rewarded.
Tells you so much, doesn't it? Tells you so much about this Georgian team. Senghelia is one of their stars. He doesn't mind getting after it on the floor.
Pachulia spins away from Voigtman. Good block by Voigtman. Hands straight up. Didn't use any of his body. 4-2 early on in the game here. Both teams winning on day one, trying to make it 2-0. Schroeder, no good. Pachulia ripped that board right down and stared off the Germans as they walked back down the court. Sinzaze uses a Pachulia screen. They had Pachulia on the roll, they missed him, and then they turn it over. Tada ahead. Tice!
But this shows you the quality of the coaching staffs, because both coaches have really scouted and prepared. They only have a day to do it. Okay, they would have seen a lot of prep games, but that post-entry that was so much benefit to Georgia in the first game. The Germans are taking it away. They're making that pass hard. They're trying to make a second pass to change the angle. And that's all about the helps there so they can play on the high side. I love the challenges from a coaching perspective these tournaments bring. You've got so little time to prepare, so little time for your players to put things on the floor. It's a challenge for coaches, challenge for players. And both of these two teams have done so well already. Oh.
Marcus Feely finding a way to finish there. He has 4 early on for Georgia. Tada. A little too aggressive there with Sinzaze. Got up into the face of Tada, and that's already 2 fouls for him. Let's see if Coach Giros will go to the bench, try to protect his guard a little bit. He'll leave him out there with all the trust in the world here with 5:22 to go in the first quarter.
Well, he's got Duda Sanzadze on the bench, who came in and did a really, really nice job. He's more of a scorer than anyone else out there. He's a scorer first type player.
Dixon watching Schroeder. Schroeder right by everybody and finishing with the left.
Just got to love him, haven't you? You know, that he'll take the challenge, gets to the basket, nice finish.
Pachulia spinning in the lane, and a foul! Zaza Pachulia using the footwork, getting his man in the air and finishing.
Look at the composure on this. He's got Voigtman's boxing, comes back the other way, said, hey, I can get the M1 here. Gets the contact, gets the finish. Just a veteran, experienced player play. Sometimes you do struggle to get a piece of paper under his feet, though. He is a man mountain of a guy who's got such a great touch, great footwork. Yeah, that's why he's an NBA champion.
Starter on the Golden State Warriors, not always asked to provide any offense for the Warriors, but his passing ability does open up for shooters that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of shooters, it's Benzing. That's too strong, looks to follow his own miss. Pulled down by Senghelia, and he'll go the other way. Marcus Feely was looking for Pachulia. He had the mismatch on Tice, and Tice called for the foul.
I have a little bit of sympathy for Tice here, because I'm not really sure he initiated most of this contact. Pachulia was just a little too smart and cute for him in terms of what he made sure he got hit by. Because Tice was in the post, he came from behind him. It almost certainly is a foul, what it is, because it's been called. But and he picks up 2 as well, so this rotation that Fleming's going to have to use is really being tested already with 2 of his, he's put 2 guys in to run that spot. They both sit down with 2 fouls.
As Pachulia steps to the line, Fleming had to make the decision whether or not to bring 5 big men to this tournament. He made the right choice because there are a ton in this group.
Yeah.
And the early foul trouble is going to test that depth up front for Germany. As Pachulia knocks down both free throws, it's 11-6 early on in favor of Georgia.
This Georgian team, again, They're not the most aggressive defensive team. They decide what they're going to give you. Unfortunately, they've just given him a wide open three.
Schroeder was red hot from three-point range, shooting over 50% in game one. Picks right back up where he left off. Before match day one, rumors are that he left the hotel room and shooting well after midnight because he was that excited trying to find the stroke, and he certainly has in this tournament. And that looks like an unsportsmanlike foul against Markashvili, and it is.
You know, just so people are aware of it, it's quite a simple interpretation there on the unsportsmanlike. If you're not making a genuine attempt to actually take the ball, and that's not an attempt to take the ball at all. That's, I'm in your way, I don't like it, there's transition opportunities, so I'm going to foul you. And I'm going to try and make it look like I'm making an attempt for the ball. He didn't go for it at all. I think it makes it easier for the officials. These officials are experienced. They know when someone's making a genuine attempt. The trouble is, if they're going to call that, they have to call it every time. It doesn't matter if it's mid-court in transition. If someone does that just in the half court, they have to call the same foul. Then players know where they are.
Absolutely. Tada misses the free throw. He'll get one more and the ball.
Pachulia is on the bench now with Shermandini. The great thing for Georgia here is that Shermandini, these are the matchups he's comfortable with. Another big man to go against. It's a like-for-like matchup. Sometimes he may struggle with some of the more mobile bigs on some of these teams in this competition. But this is a matchup I expect Shermandini to be a big, big factor in this one.
Pachulia went to the bench around the same point in game one and sat for a very long time, almost sat to the 3-minute mark in the second quarter, as Schroeder with a backdoor cut starting to percolate here a bit early on in the first quarter.
Well, you mentioned about Pachulia's passing. Big men in the modern game have to be great passers, and Holstein off the bench, his first activity is an assist. Great read, great pass.
Sangilia wants to go to work. Does. In the lane, gets his man in the air and puts it home. That's a tough cover for Hartenstein.
Well, Hartenstein, he's only 19 years old. He just got schooled a little bit on that one.
Low into the game for the first time, number 4 in red. He's going to be in the backcourt with Schroeder, who turns it over right there. But Lowe's defense really set the tempo for Germany in their game 1 victory over Ukraine as we take a look at Sangilia. Just a professional scorer.
I like Lowe in the game for Germany, because we said yesterday on day one, I mean, Schroeder can play off the ball a little bit more. He can get more minutes by being off the ball, and I think it makes Germany a better defensive team as well.
That three no good. Hartenstein skies for that one. It also allows Lowe to guard Dixon and give Schroeder that break on the defensive end so that he could create on this side of the court, which everybody loves to see.
There's that Georgian defense against very much step off. It's very much try and contain, but he's just so quick.
He's so quick. Blowing right by Sanaze into their 10. 14-13, Germany leads. Dixon had Lowe looking for him and then pulls up, in and out. Voigtman pulls that down. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Schroeder pulls up for three. That's too strong. Lowe pulls down the rebound. Thought about the skip pass. Benzing's waiting for it. Now gets it in the corner. Sets his fade for three. Indeed.
Well, you used the important word for Robin Benzing when you said he set his feet. When he sets his feet, he's very, very good. Excellent execution, excellent shot.
Sangilia wants the matchup again against Hartenstein. They shade to that side of the court, does Germany's D. Where's the help? Hartenstein. Sangilia pulls his own miss down and puts it back up and in. Scott loves to work.
Yeah, just about to say they hadn't gotten offensive rebound in the whole quarter, and then Sangilia gets his own. But it's a tough finish after the hard work. And Shermandini was more active on the glass as well.
Schroeder with the hesitation, can't get it to go. He absolutely froze Shermandini, left him in the dust. Dixon wants to slow things down. They feel as though they have a matchup that they can exploit with Sangilia. They have him in the rock right now. Shermandini down low. Good defense by Voigtman, poking it away from behind. Needs to stick a fork in it. It's German basketball. We might have a discussion between the officials. Original call is Germany ball, and it stays that way.
Everyone's getting a little bit agitated about it, probably rightly, but it doesn't matter because the referee's already made that call, so just throw it away, move on.
He was firm in making that decision as well. Did not waver. Akpenar checks in for Schroeder. Benzing will sit as well. Sager comes in for him. Schroeder leaves the game with 9 points already.
Coach Fleming's going to use the quarter break to extend the rest for Schroeder, give him the minute now and the 2 minutes for the break. I think he's going to have a long shift in this one.
Low, probing. That was almost off glass for Voigtman. Dixon pulls it down. Sangalia to the brim! Oh my goodness! If you don't know him, now you know his name. Sangalia, welcome to EuroBasket 2017. Wow. Low inside, he got fouled.
Where's the replay? Let's have a look at the replay. I think you'll be telling Voigtman all about that one when I get back to Masonica. I think that'll be like, do you remember this play? Where you were crazy enough to try and block me.
With the offhand as well. My goodness. The confidence that he's been playing with in this tournament so far has been incredible. And it seems as though George is feeding off of that.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost, you got this scenario where Pachulia is the rock. You know, he's the man for the team. The whole base is around him. You've got a few other veterans. And Sangalia actually doesn't have to worry about any of that. He just has to play, and he is absolutely thriving on that sort of responsibility.
Low knocks down the free throws. Make it a 2-point game once again. 26.3 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Well, Sangalia leads their scorers again with 8. He's just, wow, his stock rises at every moment he's on the floor.
It was a 2012 pick of the Philadelphia 76ers of the NBA. Spent some time with the Brooklyn Nets as well. And here he is performing for his country on the grand stage. Foul underneath. It will be 2 shots as we're in the bonus. And I believe that will send Shermardini to the line, who, as we said in game 1, sometimes has a touch, sometimes struggles like most big men do from the free throw line.
He has become a much more consistent scorer because he's had to in Andorra. And I expect without with him in the game, you expect him to run a lot more pick and roll, because he's going to roll down the middle and create space for everyone else. And they have to use him, because otherwise all the defense will focus on Sangalia. And he's got to get touches. He's got to get going. He's got a chance to tie the game from the free throw line. Yeah, Georgia are blessed with 2 great centers. You know, it's
with skill.
With absolute skill, great fundamental skills.
Shermardina's first free throw is pure. Played at Andorra this season, 16.7 rebounds. You'd like to see that block number get up there a bit. It was under a block per game, but he does intimidate in the lane. It's not like he's not active there.
He's one of those guys that's a shot changer, not a shot blocker, because he's not the best athlete in the world.
Benzing at the buzzer, no good. And that's how we'll end the first quarter. 19 all, the same way we started, a tie game between Germany and Georgia. Don't go anywhere. More action from EuroBasket 2017. Well, you can follow your own team, players, and create your own experience, of course, with the FIBA EuroBasket app. Download it now on iOS and Android. And, of course, join us in conversation on social media with the hashtag EuroBasket 2017 as we take a look at some of the highlights from the first quarter.
Well, both teams, quite surprisingly for Germany, were very aggressive on the dribble early. But then the game really is now taken on the, as you see, the big-time finish by Sengalia, one of his two big throwdowns in that first part of the game. It's taken on the shape you'd expect it to say. Shoulders on the dribble, he's a handful. Sengalia is going to be tough, whatever he does. The pick and roll with Shamadini is going to be a factor. All those things that will be in the scout. Now it comes down to how did Georgia decide to defend those plays? Try and take both teams to parts of the shot clock they don't want to go to in terms of getting deep on it. Take them into areas where they're going to have to make plays as opposed to get plays off of what they're running. It's going to be a tough old ask if you got Sengalia in the post, but I thought Germany had a great way of denying that early on. But then the foul trouble really gave them an issue. Sengalia got a lot of touches when they went to Hartenstein, who's their last choice on the big man's side. I mean, they've even now, they've got Jonas Thiemann in the game. He didn't play at all in the first game. So this is really stretching Coach Fleming's resources, and that's because defensively they're in trouble foul-wise, trying to deal with that huge physical presence going to the inside for Georgia.
They are deep into the bench now with two guys that did not play in game one, as you mentioned. Low on the floor with Steiger, Kleiman, and Hartenstein, and as well as Akpinar. This is Low. Probing, lays it up, no good. Hartenstein tried to tap it. Georgia out on the break again. Dixon slows it down. Sengalia and Pachulia playing together for the first time in this game. And an offensive foul called on Sengalia check that, Shamardini being a little too aggressive down low.
I'm probably going to say what I always say on this. Sometimes I think the 2-meter-11 plus guy, that's definitely an offensive hook because he had his palm on the defensive player. But sometimes it's like, well, what can they do? They just happen to be 2'11", 2'15". They're going to be bigger than the other guy.
Akpinar uses a screen. Hyman, Low. Akpinar pulls up for three. No good. Hartenstein's been active on the glass, and he pulls down another offensive board. Low left alone for three. Indeed.
Well, Low's got to be confident because on his drive previously, he drove thinking pass. He didn't even want to shoot that one. He was looking everywhere else. And he's got to step in because he will get space because of who else is on the floor.
Gorgeous skip pass. Three, indeed. Sanaze knocking it down.
That's a great read. And we said about Sanaze comes in, wants to score. That's all he wants to do offensively is instant offense.
Steiger for three. Indeed. 3 threes in a row on both sides. And the bucket's starting to open up a little bit here.
Well, Steiger, we said the German guards have got to give Schroeder support. Well, Low and Steiger definitely are. That's, again, a great sign for this German lineup.
Pachulia. Dixon coming off the Pachulia screen. Finds Pachulia. That's an offensive foul. No basket. Wiped the basket away. Offensive foul on Pachulia. I believe that was Thyman who stepped in there and took that right in the chest. Yes, it was.
Yep.
And that's a big bump to take. You see the emotion there, but you know he's going to feel that tomorrow.
It's you mentioned in game one the Schroeder taking charge in practice. That's the sort of thing that is contagious.
He definitely set the tempo in practice before game one, and it seems to know that's the mandate. Talk about Hartenstein. He has been offensive rebounding machine, puts that one back home.
Well, he may be 19, but he's in Zalgiris. He's in a EuroLeague team. He's going up against some of the best guys in Europe week in, week out. He's active. He's very, very active. And what a bonus for Coach Fleming getting, and this is what being a tournament team's about, contributions across the roster.
Pachulia down low. Just a professional move. I don't know if we'll get the replay there, but you see the little chicken wing come out a bit and get him some space as we take a look at Lowe with the drive, and Hartenstein getting up and putting it back home.
And that's the other reason that Lowe has to shoot that shot and not think pass, because he's going to have offensive rebounding opportunities because the defense has to challenge the shot. If they look at him feeding pass, they're not going to help. They're going to stay at home. So Lowe's got to be confident. It was a great decision to penetrate, great decision to take the shot, and everyone else did their job and got on the glass.
Zaza Pachulia had 8 points in game one, already near that total. Looking for number 7 with this free throw. Missed it. Guess who with the rebound? Mr. Hartenstein. 27-22. Early second quarter. Lowe losing Dixon and then losing the ball. Shamardini comes down with it. Dixon looking to push. Lowe a little too aggressive. I think he was a little upset that that ball squirted out of his hands, and then a little ambitions on the foul in the defensive end.
And that the performance of Lowe and the performance of the other guard has allowed, Schroeder's had the break and 3 and one before, so that's a really decent break for him, and great time management by Fleming. He knows he wants to get him back. Saw a little bit of a slip, a mistake by Lowe, and he's like, no, I'll get him back now.
There was the rest day yesterday here in Group B. There won't be a rest day tomorrow. They go back-to-back, and then a rest day on Monday, or Saturday here local time. So minutes are going to be very important, or keeping an eye on the minutes will be very important for both coaches as Shamardini goes to work. So Naze from deep 3, indeed.
Wow.
He's come on, and he keeps to be red hot right now.
Well, if your role is to shoot, and he loves it, he's got some freedom to just put it up if he's open. Great touch.
Schrager left it short. Rebound, Akpinar puts it right back up and in. The Germans are crashing the offensive board right now. So Naze stopped everything. Everyone was waiting for him to tie his shoes. Back to the action now. Dixon blowing by Akpinar. Finds himself on the three-point line and picked up his dribble, but Shamardini inside, nice pass. Pachulia with the finish. You saw Akpinar hit the deck. Referee said play on. And now a technical foul as Zuros, Coach Zuros of Georgia, picks up the tech. Not sure what the issue is here.
No, the issue is that, and I'm with Coach Zuros, Akpinar tried to buy the charge when Shamardini got the ball, and Zuros is saying that's a technical foul, and that's exactly what it should be, because people, players and coaches have been told that's how it'll be called. If you flop, and it'd be disappointing not to see it. And he's like, well, why is that not a technical foul? He wasn't really shouting, but he's standing openly in front of the crowd here saying that's a bad call. I still think it's a pretty poor tech to give. There's an opportunity to go and say, Coach, sit down, not blow the tech at him now. Zuros is too experienced to get a tech in that situation normally.
Well, they do give the tech, and that's his first here. We'll keep an eye on it going forward in this important game. Group B stage, Timon flying in and cleaning up the mess. We've had a ton of dunks in this game so far. 32-27. Bodies hitting the ground. Schroeder picked up the steal, and they say a foul. And I believe the foul's on Sandaze as we take a look at the replay here.
It's either, I think the foul might be, they tried to pass to Dixon and he fumbled. And in an attempt to get it back, I think it might be a Dixon foul. I'm not sure, but it was just messy. And someone gets a foul in messy plays. It's
Chris Fleming's bunch, it's been spirited so far. Every game so intense in the group stage, especially when two undefeated teams go head to head. A lot of thought on that guy's brain and a lot of joy in that little man's heart. 32-27, 5:42 remaining here in the second quarter. Blocked there by Shamardini. Way too long to try that one.
Yeah, that's the Shamardini block when he's just long, as opposed to having a time and jump. And I still like the fact these German guards are really taking it strong inside and causing rotation on that Georgian defense. There's going to be moments like that, but they've got a lot of offensive boards because they've broken the defense down.
The kick. Benzing sets the puppies. Can't hit. Rebound by Schroeder. Oh, dropping a man, and then gives it away. Look out, Singelia got a little too fancy with the scoop pass to Pachulia, and it goes out of bounds. Every time he gets out onto the open floor, the crowd rises in anticipation after 2 slams that we saw earlier on. Back to the Shermardini block.
So this is why, for me, Georgia are a real... Pachulia's going to go out. Until he went out there, Pachulia, Shermardini, and Singelia for a period on the floor together. That makes him so big. Singelia gives him that opportunity because he's athletic enough defensively to guard the 3. But they've got options to go big, they've got options to go small, and all of their bigs have got very, very good fundamental skills.
Voigtman and Bartel, who are in foul trouble with 2 fouls apiece, getting set to check back in. Akpinar for 3, that's too strong. Hartenstein, who has been all over the offensive glass, will get a much-deserved rest. That one touched him last as it goes out of bounds, but he gets a hand from the German faithful here in Tel Aviv, and well-deserved.
Absolutely well-deserved. That little spell there, when they were in that little foul trouble, he's come up with offensive boards and points. That's going to please Coach Fleming enormously. He's got away with that scenario where he's got people in foul trouble.
The youngest player in the team at 19 years of age for Mr. Hartenstein, and he showed himself like a veteran. 7 on the clock now, 5. Singelia steps back. That was awkward, but it fell.
Well, you mentioned Dirk Nowitzki earlier on. That was almost Nowitzki-like.
Yeah, really was. Akpinar. A swing, Benzing. He was thinking a dunk before he had possession of the basketball and gave it away. Sanaze. He's been red hot from 3-point range. Shermardini inside. Got hacked, couldn't finish. Voigtman now with his 3rd.
That's going to disappoint Shermardini. Beautiful little baseline cut in transition. If he catches it this deep, you know, you'd put your mortgage on this guy making the 2. And if he was fouled, going for the extra 1, but he's going to have to earn them both from the free throw line as he missed what for him was a pretty easy shot.
First free throw is good.
Just one issue, fairly, that just seems to be developing through this game for Georgia. They really are reliant on Dixon. Dixon doesn't sit, and at some point with this German backcourt, and they did it earlier on, get up the floor at him, make him work both ends of the floor. If he's guarding you, attack him. They've gone away from it a little bit since early on, and Dixon's now in that flow of the game, but Georgia don't want to take him out. He's the one guy they don't want to rest.
He's played 50 minutes so far. Shermardini says nah-uh. And it leads to a break the other way. Block and foul.
I won't mind seeing it again. I'm not sure it wasn't on the way down.
Akpinar called for the foul. The Georgia faithful standing in appreciation of Shermardini. Got away with the reach and then gets back.
Well, it was definitely on the way up still. It's
Marcus Feely at the line. You're talking about the minutes that Dixon plays. 15 minutes so far in this game. Looks as though he might even close this half out the way things are going. He played 50 games this season. Went deep into the year, so I mean, tired legs might be a factor.
And he was deep, big-time minutes for Ike. He was the man that they gave. He was under a lot of pressure every day. So maybe he's one of those guys that needs to play, you know, and that's what he does. But at some point, someone's going to go at him. That's the thing.
And if anyone's going to go at him, it might be that guy on screen right there, Dennis Schroeder. He was fouled. He'll go to the line. We have penalty. Both teams are in the penalty as we speak. Marcus Feely picked up the foul there. That's his 2nd. Akpinar will sit. Zada back in. Or Tata, sorry, back in. Well, Schroeder was efficient from the free throw line in game 1. That's his first miss today. (33-31), 3:40 to go till half. And there we see the pressure again. Dixon, kick out. Sanaze, no. Bartel pulls the rebound down, and here comes Schroeder the other way. Voigtman thought about it. Tied on the drive. A bump there. No basket, but he'll go to the line to shoot two. As we are well into the penalty, Sanaze picks up his second.
And again, another example, those German guards being much more aggressive than they were in game one, trying to turn the corner. It's poor defense to give up the middle. And that's why there's a lot of foul trouble, because both teams are being aggressive. Both teams are looking to be it pass or dribble penetration. It's an obvious, both coaches have said, we're not going to win this from just standing there shooting the ball. So it's good to see Tada, because Tada really is just normally, he's just spot-up shooter. If he's putting it on the floor, that's a real message from Coach Fleming.
There's Coach Juros in his huddle. And Coach Fleming on the other side. Here's the previous replay. Singilia, who is probably the hottest player in our group here, Group B in Tel Aviv, in terms of the aggressiveness he's been playing with, his production, his impact on the game. He's doing it on both ends of the floor, showing the leadership for Georgia. Some of the pictures from what's been so far a pretty intense first half between these two teams. An important game here, as both teams were victorious in game one. They want to go 2-0 and really control their own destiny here in the group phase.
Wow, those percentages for Singalia, just out the top drawer. And it used to be, EuroBasket going back, there was a pecking order. And so some teams could work their way into the tournaments. Now, when you've got a country like Georgia trying to establish itself as a major contender for this, Germany a previous winner, and you've got the other teams we have in the group, you can't just say, oh, we'll work our way into the competition. You have to hit the ground running. Otherwise, you can dig a hole and you may not go through.
And the thing about it is we like to focus on our group here, Group B, but the other three groups, some tough teams lost on day one. And you might end up matching up with those teams in the knockout stage if you get that far. Pachulia thought he was fouled by Bartel, but I think that was good defense, hands straight up.
Absolutely. Kept his feet really, really well set.
It's Voigtman. Benzing. Schroeder with 10 to shoot. Schroeder puts on the Jets. Voigtman blocked from behind. Singilia will push.
So smart, makes decisions. We're not in a great place. Let's just get it back, start again.
Pachulia. Sanaze. 10 to shoot. Sanaze pulls up, and the foul. Schroeder will get called for the push in the back, and Sanaze will head to the line for one more.
He looked like a worried fan until he noticed the camera. Then he's smiling for everyone at home. This Dadu Sanaze really, for me, epitomizes national team. He has his role. Now, everyone would love that role to come in and just score, but he does it. And then tough situation. He's just not looking to give him the ball. He created for himself. He makes the free throws. He's done his job. He's going to sit down, and his team is in a real plus because of his contribution.
Came off the bench, provided a spark, and he's been that second option for them here with Singilia. He has 8 points in the game. Benzing. Voigtman for three. Indeed.
I think that shows some of the issues that they'll have with Dixon, because everyone helped. Dixon should have been the guy to rotate over to that kick. He just stood and watched him take the open three.
Dixon in and out. Voigtman on that last three. That was his first of the tournament, and he kind of exhaled as that went down. Schroeder indeed for three.
Well, you saw that little caption up before. He was 0 for 5 with his last 5 field goals. That puts him on to 14 points. It's almost, that's your bonus time. You know he's going to make a shot sooner or later because he's just too talented. And he was getting a little frustrated himself. Gave a little discussion point, should we say, after he made the three. But Germany, for all that we're talking about how efficient Georgia are with Shengelia, Germany as a team with a 7-point lead are really looking very, very solid. Contributions across the team. Players coming in off the bench making great contributions. And guys really following Coach Fleming's desire to be aggressive. Even Benzing's putting it on the floor. Tada's putting it on the floor. They don't rate this Georgian defense on the perimeter. That's clear. They're going to try and exploit it as they did with Voigtman getting the open three.
One thing that stuck out from game one for Germany as we take a look at some of Dennis Schroeder's highlights was the fact that they were able to close quarters out effectively and go into the second and third and fourth quarter with momentum.
Well, it's if Schroeder wasn't a star, which he obviously is, you know, he's a starting guard in the NBA. Of course he's a star. His stock in Germany now as a national team player, leading his team, he will now become even more of a national hero because he looks like he wants it for the team and these teammates. He's putting on a real great demonstration for these first 2 games.
It was something that the Germans talked about after the game in the press conference, that this team is pretty close.
Yeah.
They're fairly close, and when you look at them around the hotel, they all eat together, they all walk around together. You can tell that they enjoy the company of each other. As Benzing steps in for three. No good there. But that is rare when you have a group of guys coming together for a short period of time. Now, I know a lot of these guys play together during the year, but it's still remarkable to see that everyone comes together, and that's led by Dennis Schroeder.
And Benzing said in that press conference, I mean, he's an older guy now, so he understands what it's to be on the national team, and he's loving these younger guys coming in.
Shengelia in this paint, nice move. Unfortunate there with the miss. Pachulia just tossed it up. He was looking for the foul more than the basket, but he got 1 or 2. He got the basket, not the foul.
He definitely got a push. Maybe sometimes the officials, I don't think they give big guys enough protection at times. It's almost they allow too much contact.
Schroeder on the Voigtman screen. Voigtman hit his last 3. Let's see if he tries to take another one. He'll go to the post. He was looking for Bartel. A little too clever with that pass. Bartel wasn't looking for it.
Yeah, a little bit too cute. Doesn't need to be cute at this point in the game.
Bartel's had a tough game so far in terms of handling the ball. He'll go to the bench. He's been in foul trouble. Hasn't really found the rhythm in this game.
That's always an interesting challenge for guys. He gets the 2 early fouls. Hard to get back in to the rhythm of the game, as you say, and Bartel looks like he's struggling with that one.
Dixon finds Pachulia. Pachulia in the paint. Great footwork. Tossed it up. Got hit. No foul call. Shot clock turned off. Schroeder knows it, and he'll take his time as he crosses the timeline.
I think Pachulia was a little bit too much looking for the foul as opposed to the finish.
The German supporters stand on the final possession here for Germany. Hartenstein for 3. No good, and that's how we'll go to the half. 41-36 in favor of Germany, looking to make it 2-0 in Group B action here at EuroBasket 2017.
Wow, when we get a chance to look at these statistics, they're going to reflect how tough and tight a game that is. You know, Georgia doing a nice job on the inside. They've only taken 2 threes. And in this day and age, a team only taking 2 threes, it's a little surprising. But they've been to the free throw line 12 times. They're doing a great job there. German rebounding, you made the point in commentary, they were just going after it on the glass. On the offensive end, 7 rebounds on the offensive glass against a very big, solid, very good team. I think the turnovers reflects the pressure in the game as opposed to the pressure from the defense, because both teams have, turned it over in poor situations where it's almost like coughing it up as opposed to really being a turnover caused by defense.
And you never want to have a turnover, but there haven't been a lot of live ball turnovers to lead to baskets on the other end. It's been a lot of dead ball turnovers.
Absolutely. It's been a really, really solid first half. Small advantage for Germany. And I think you've really got to give the credit to their bench and their big guys coming off the bench. That's why they lead by 5. Those guys really did a great job for Coach Fleming. That leaves them 41-36 up.
That's an interesting point, because we started this game saying their bigs would have to show up, and Voigtman and Bartel got into foul trouble early on, and we didn't expect to see guys like Hartenstein come in, who's only 19 years old, shows up, and you know what? He might even earn himself some more minutes here in the second half, regardless of what's happening with the foul count.
Coach Fleming's not going to be worried. He's going to be confident. He's going to put him in. He was confident enough to go with him early, and he repaid that confidence. And you know what you're like when you're 19. You're fearless.
Yeah.
So he's going against Pachulia. Who cares? He's going against Sega. Who cares? He'll draw a foul. He'll make a foul. He'll finish a play. Did a great job rebounding. Fearless performance by the 19-year-old. Schroeder gets the highlights because he's the big-time point scorer. But when they distribute the ball, I like this German team, and I like the way Schroeder leads it.
On the other end, that guy right there, Singilia, you know he could score, you know he could do that, but he did it on the defensive end as well. And, I mean, if Georgia's going to get back into this game, who's that second option scoring-wise? Could it be Sanaze right there as we see him hit the 3?
Well, I think, ironically, maybe Pachulia and Shamadini need to score more, because they've scored, they've been in the game, but they're in the negative compared to the German bigs at the moment in terms of points spread. So it's an ironic scenario. It wasn't the guys we thought it would be, but the bigs for Germany, the 19-year-old, they're the guys I think are giving Schroeder the chance to give this German team the lead.
Well, the marquee stars have stepped up so far, and some unlikely suspects have made their presence felt here in the first game of match day 2 here in Group B. We will be back for second half action shortly. It's Germany 41, Georgia 36. EuroBasket 2017 here live from Tel Aviv, Israel in the Tel Aviv Arena. Germany and Georgia in a battle. Germany up 41-36 here at the half. Carlin Gay, Mark Clark on hand. Glad you could be with us wherever you are, however you are doing so. Mark, it's been a quite intense first half, and we seem to see that this German squad is getting better as the game goes along, which most predicted before the tournament starts, saying that they have a potential to be a better team from the beginning to end.
Well, there's two reasons for that. I think one, they really did not have a lot of time when all 12 guys were in practice for either injury or availability issues. You know, they didn't get that. They had preparation games. The results weren't great, but they never had a consistency of players on the floor. And Coach Fleming referred to that. And they're also a relatively young group that, you know, needs to learn how to play in tournaments. And they have learned very quickly, because when they went that deep into your bench, you know that they've got the potential to go. Because at some point in a tournament, you're going to need your bench to step up. Injury or foul trouble, someone's got to deliver. And they had delivery. You know, Hartenstein off the bench was just tremendous, the 19-year-old. And that tells you this German team, one, they've got the depth, but he also has the confidence to play. And that's, you've got to give the coaching staff a lot of credit. They got Henrik Roeder on the bench as an assistant, a former player. He's been where this young guy is. You know that helps. They got great chemistry, it would appear. And therefore, they're going to be a tough group, because they're going to have some adversity. Georgia will have a run. This German team faced that in that first half. Hey, they just carried out and played.
Yeah.
It does help when you got a superstar.
It absolutely does. That superstar, Dennis Schroeder. He had 14 points in the first half. He ended up with 32 big ones after the Game 1 win against Ukraine. Germany trying to make it 2-0 here to take control of this Group B. On the other side of things, Georgia, as we take a look at Coach Zuros talking to his men, he'd have to be quite comfortable with the situation that they're in right now. They are the more experienced team heading into this matchup. They had been down at the half against Lithuania and still came back with a victory.
Well, they were down double digits at some points in the first half against Lithuania. And again, they have something, because in a different way, they had great preparation. They had to do it without Pachulia for a lot of time because he was injured. But throughout that, they've established a lot of confidence. And because they got the win in the actual tournament yesterday, they're going to feel, hey, we are ready to do this. As you see the numbers for Schroeder, you know, 32, 7, and 5. He is an all-star candidate, and we're only into Game 2. But that, going back to that Georgian lineup, they just the thing we need to see, and interestingly,
it's whether Dixon's on the floor.
He's in the corner. I just lost him for a second. Yeah. But like, they need Dixon to have the second half he had last time. He needs to step up and be a dominant factor in this game, like he did last in the Game 1.
Michael Dixon, number 3 in white for Georgia, played 19 minutes in that first half. Traveling violation there to start the quarter for Georgia. Not the start that they would want. Or sorry, check that for, yes, for Georgia. Yeah. Not the start that they would want to start this half with.
Well, straight off the bat, sorry but like, Dixon is the first time he's guarded Schroeder. It's like, well, I've played, now I've got to play properly. Now I've got to step up and lead. It's going to be interesting to see how Dixon copes. I can't believe he can go 20 guarding Schroeder, though.
No, it'll be tough. I don't know if there's a man in the tournament that could go 20 guarding that. Schroeder smiling as he goes back up the court with the easy layup, 16 and counting.
And Dixon has it at the point for almost the first time in the game. He's been playing at the off-guard spot up until now.
Well, Sengelia's been perfect so far. He's finding Dixon for 3. Indeed. We didn't see much of that from Michael Dixon in the first half. He got it going in Game 1 in the second half. Can he do the same, as you said, in this game? They're going to need the scoring.
Wow, he's going to have to. That was a nice catch and release.
Mensing puts it on the deck. Skip past to Tada. They try to feed it back inside. Theis, Tada, Voigtman, little gun shy there. Now Theis pulls up, in and out. Voigtman was struggling from three-point range. He finally got one to fall in the second quarter, and then comes up with a steal there.
That's great. Great reaction. You can always get back and just feel sorry for yourself a little bit. He was straight back in it.
There he is in the post, spinning away. And it's a German basketball with 11 ticks on the shot clock. See the replay here of the Dixon three.
And he's done it all year in Athens. For Ike Athens, he's been like a factor. You know, points, assists. He's over 12 points a game for that season. So I would expect him to be a factor.
He was the one to seal the win with a big layup at the end of the game for Georgia against Lithuania in game 1. Menzing's three no good. Margashvili pulls it down.
That's a little worrying for the Germans in the start of this third period. They're standing and settling as opposed to being the aggressor apart from the Schroeder layup. Tada's got to be aggressive. Benzing's got to be aggressive. They can't just stand and shoot. I think if they do that, then they're in better rhythm when they do end up with the open shot.
Benzing picks up his first foul on the hook there. Georgia will inbound with 14 on the clock. There's Pachulia. Behind the back to Singeli. He wasn't paying attention. Tada comes away with the steal. Racing up the court. Here's Benzing. Schroeder, he loves that spot for three. A good extra pass leaves Tada wide open, no good. Tapped up.
Gotta make that shot.
He does. Tapped up by Pachulia and vacuumed in by Margashvili. And Dixon wants to slow things down and run a set. Margashvili, mid-range, indeed.
It's just such a nice curl. He doesn't give the defender any space to chase him. And in mid-range where his feet set, he's going to knock it down.
Schroeder, hearing it from the Georgia supporters. Driving, can't get it to go. He was bothered by Pachulia, and then Pachulia picks up the rebound and gets fouled.
I hope we get to see the rebound because Pachulia is huge. He's so strong. He went down as though someone had hit him with a lot of weight, and he gets the foul. It's smart. He's smart because there was a foul here. There was definitely a foul on the missed two.
Sanaze, Dixon. They're looking for Margashvili to work off of screens. Dixon pulls up. Indeed. That is a three, two in a row. And Dixon, look at the emotion on his face. You think this isn't important to him? He's locked in, folks. Timeout, Germany. Georgia starting to feel it. 44-43. Georgia takes the lead here in the second half.
Well, we challenged him. We questioned him at the half. You know, had he just, almost marked time for 20 minutes, he's come back. That was a tough one. People on him, people over him, knocks it down. And there's always a debate about naturalized players. And if you go back over the history of EuroBasket, it's the ones that really engage not only with their teammates but with the crowd. If you go back to Macedonia's great run in 2011, Paul McCaleb really became part of the whole Macedonian story, and it looks like Dixon's in that place right now. He's with the fans after that. He's interacting with the fans. He's not just doing a job here, he's playing national team basketball. Yes, and he is bought into that in a huge way. And that's a great sign for this Georgian team.
See it right there. That's the epitome of playing for the name on the front, not the back. You see the emotion there coming out and the crowd reacting. They absolutely have fallen in love with Michael Dixon Jr. Was the hero at the end of game 1 against Lithuania with the floater off glass. And quickly here in the second half has 2 quick threes for 6 points on the night after quiet starting the game in the first.
Well, you asked the question about, would Hartenstein get any more minutes? Would he be part of the rotation? Team's challenged. Hey, he gave me something in the first half. Let's see if he gives me something in the second half. Germany go very quick with this lineup.
He's back on the floor and attacking Pachulia. Pachulia goes up tall and blocks it. Dixon looks like a different player right now. Just so confident. Lowe trying to slow him down, and Lowe is one of the better perimeter defenders on Germany. Hartenstein a little too aggressive on Singilia, and he'll pick up the foul. That was a matchup that Singelia tried to exploit in the first, but Hartenstein did a decent job of staying in front of him, as hard as that may be.
Yeah, he's quick. He's got a little bit of foot quickness. That means he can, he can front. He can get into that matchup in a way that he can almost tell Shinge, I'll let you catch it, but not here.
He also has the length as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little awkward for Singelia. Here is Singelia. Underneath, trying to use his size. Hartenstein comes down with the rebound.
You've got to love the young guy's effort. You just got to love the young guy's effort.
And the rim run was terrific. They couldn't find him, though, on the pass. Tice. Low pulls it all the way back out. They want to set something up. Two-man game with Tice. Low for three. No good. Tice on the rebound. Pulls down his own miss. Goes back up and able to drop it home.
That's a great second effort. Over the back of Singelia, who to an extent didn't really put enough body on him. Great composure on the finish as well. I love the fact Lowe took the open shot, though. He's got to be that confident.
Dixon, nice skip pass, but Pachulia walked. No basket. Pachulia traveled before the layup. See the second chance points right there. Germany had been attacking the glass all game long. They are up 14-4 in second chance opportunities, and Pachulia there with the travel.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. The one earlier on and looked a three-step. That one was marginal, to say the least.
45-44, good game here. And match day 2, game 1 of 3 in Group B. Low. 8 to shoot. Hartenstein thought about the 3. Now spinning inside. To wave it off. He traveled.
Yeah, just got a little too quick for himself. The move that he ended up making would have been fine if he'd have just did a little bit more composed. He just took a skip before he span.
It's only 19. The confidence is oozing off of him.
Totally fearless. Tremendous contribution off the bench.
Turnovers becoming a problem here for Georgia. They have 5 in this quarter. Senzaze left alone. Dixon driving. Singelia thought about it. Now pulls up for 2. In and out. Pachulia taps it back out. Fresh 14. Singelia to the 10. That is tough.
Hey, Michael Dixon was saying, give me the ball. Singelia says, no, they're not ready for me. I'm going. When he goes to the hoop, he is tough to stop. He got a lot of body there. Great finish.
Schroeder dancing on Dixon. In the tall trees, loses it. Markashvili ahead of the pack. Pachulia tried to set the screen for Markashvili, and Singelia draws the foul on Lowe. Lowe's first. There's the layup that we were just talking about for Singelia. Man, you got to be strong in this game.
Oh, serious. Great protection of the ball. He created a great drive. He saw a great drive lane, so he had a great angle to attack it. But you've still got to finish in traffic.
Pachulia leaves. He has 10 points so far. He had 8 in game 1. Shamardini coming in off the bench. He is no slouch in replacement. Here he is on the rock right now. Naze trying to probe. Pulls up over Low. Oh, that's a tough shot.
That meant a little bit. First 2 points of the game.
Almost looked like he was bailing the defense out there with that shot, but it fell. Shiger. Schroeder. Shiger sets the puppies and fires. In and out. Singelia pulls it down. Look out. Here he comes the other way. Dixon wants it. That's Senzaze in and out. The crowd would have erupted here had that fallen.
That would have been a huge momentum builder.
Steiger finds Hartenstein. Oh, clever. Can't get it to go, though. Did a good job of just getting the effort up at the rim. Falling out of bounds, offhand. But it seems as though Germany now struggling to score. Only 4 points here in the third quarter. And there's 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to go. Singelia step back, no good. Steiger pulls it down. Schroeder on a push. Dennis Schroeder to the rim. The only way to stop him was with a foul, and they do just that. He'll go to the line for 2 shots. Looked like he got shot out of a cannon, the way he accelerated. Here's Sinzaze with that rainbow 2 a couple possessions ago and ended up being so pure at the bottom of the net. And then you see the emotion.
Wow, Coach Fleming is showing so much confidence in Hartenstein here, because he's got guys in foul trouble, but they're not hugely deep in foul trouble. They've got 2s and 3s. And the young guy is earning his time. I accept that totally. But this is hats off to Coach Fleming. If you're here to play.
Yeah.
And I'm confident in you.
Definitely showing the trust.
And he's, at the end of the day, it's a 1-point game. So the more it stays close, the more it's in this situation, the more time he is buying for some of those guys he wants to finish the game with. Hopefully for Germany, Bartel will come in and do a job. He's been struggling himself. If this could be his moment to get going, that's going to help too.
Bartel 22 in red. He's guarding Shamardini, who's coming up for a screen right now. Dixon uses it and now wants to dance on Steiger. Dixon pulls up for 2. Indeed! Michael Dixon. We said he's feeling it. He is now in his zone.
Absolutely. 0.0 for 3 at the half. He's 8 already. I don't think he's going to be stuck on 8 for very long.
He hasn't missed in this 3rd quarter. The double on Schroeder inside. Hartenstein. Bartel, they need this. No good. Marcus Feely pulls down the rebound, and Dixon wants to slow things down.
This is where I really like Georgia now. They've got momentum, but if there's unless they're sunk really early, they're going to run something and get the ball where they want to get it, which is right inside.
There's Shamardini over the top of the defense, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. Bartel is having a tough afternoon.
It's one of those days at the office you really should have stayed in bed. But that's for me, that's a tournament heads-up play by Dixon. Even though he's feeling it, even though he's gonna really be confident, he says, "Hey, we haven't got a break. Let's run it in the half court. Let's get a shot we want." They get it right inside. Okay, Shamardini misses the throw, but this is about Georgia making it so tough for anyone to start, building momentum against them.
Second one goes down for Shamardini. Sanaze checks in. There he is on screen, and he was the man to provide the spark off the bench in the first half. He's opened the floor up with some 3s. He's there to shoot. He's there to score. Not really there for his defense. And see, Germany maybe can attack him on this end of the floor. Here's Bartel. Hartenstein. Schroeder. Hartenstein up top! Oh. Bartel finds him. Hartenstein got loose behind the D and put it home. Dixon putting so much pressure now on the D. Marcus Feely for 3, no good. Hartenstein and Pachulia get tangled up, and they call Hartenstein on the foul.
Hartenstein can write home to his mother and father and say, "I just put Pachulia on his backside." But I don't think, I'd love him to write home about that.
Yeah, that deserves a postcard. One more time, we take a look at it right in your living room.
Well, Bartel makes the great pass. But Pachulia is very good at falling over and hitting the floor when he needs to, because Hartenstein is not capable of putting him down. It was just a little bump and there was a foul, but Pachulia is just veteran.
Can't say enough about the way that Hartenstein's played in this game. 19 years of age, the youngest player on the team. And it's not to say that the German squad is, ancient by any means.
No.
One of the youngest teams here in the group, average age of 24 years old. But Hartenstein stepping in huge minutes, earning them.
Well, he played in only pretty much half of Zalgiris' games last year. But whenever he's playing in games, and whenever he plays, he contributes. 4 points, 3 rebounds at 19. You've got to be happy with that.
A showing like this, though, will give him a lot of confidence going forward in his career. Going up against an NBA champion, going against Shamardini, who is a vet, well, he's playing well.
Going to have no fear about playing EuroLeague, is he? It's going to be, this is where he belongs.
Absolutely. Steiger, nice pass, Bartel, corner three. He needed to see that go through the basket.
Just one positive thing can just break your, where you're in a bad place. The great assist, he then hits a three. All of a sudden, he's a contributor.
Dixon, Markashvili, Hartenstein was in his face. Bartel pulls it down. Low picks it up, and he'll go the other way. Could be an intentional. Should have been.
It has to be. I don't like the rule. I think it's easy. You tell me if this is a real. Well, you're going to get a look at the three from Bartel. So Bartel makes an assist, hits the three, challenges and gets another rebound, all of this happens, and all of a sudden this game seems great again.
I was going to say, don't look now, but Germany's right back into this game. It was something seemed like seconds ago we said they were only on 4 points, and they go on a run now, and it's a tie game and have an opportunity to take the lead heading into the fourth quarter.
While they try and buy some Michael Dixon time here, as Gamkrel did say he's in the game for 20 seconds.
And a tough guard now for Schroeder. Oh, how did he do it? Dennis Schroeder, that is a bad man. And the Georgia bench didn't like Schroeder celebrating right in front of their face. Blood boiling on both sides. This is EuroBasket 2017, folks. I mean, how do you guard this?
Well, I was going to try and say that's not a legitimate action on the defense anyway. He finishes the play and then enjoys himself in front of the Georgian bench, which is, he's entitled. He's on the floor. He's in celebration mode here. It's not affecting Coach Zuras. Coach Zuras is there. He's not even interested in it. But other people got interested, and I think there was a technical foul on Hartenstein.
There was.
Where was that?
Well, it was a technical foul on Hartenstein. I think it was a double tech, though. Might have been a double tech both ways. We'll get the facts for you.
It's a technical foul on the bench for Georgia, and a technical foul on Hartenstein. Where was Hartenstein's technical? I didn't.
Sometimes maybe they just hand it to the youngest guy on the floor. Well, he's been everywhere. He's picked up, he's filled the stat sheet, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Now picking up a tech, and he gets a hand as he leaves the game.
He deserves every second of that hand from the fans are on their feet for him. Those German fans have loved that contribution.
Got to appreciate the way that he's played so far. Schroeder at the line, it's a three-point game. Germany weathered the storm and now have an opportunity to go into the break. Maybe tied at worst. Akpinar checks in the game for Schroeder that will allow him to sit through the break. 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Sinzaze. Dixon has been red hot. He'll attack. Is poked out of his hands by Akpinar, and last touch by Dixon.
And Schroeder's going to come back for those 4 seconds.
Well, Coach Fleming has put a real emphasis on closing out quarters and getting that momentum into the breaks.
Benzing comes back as well, so you can't help off him because he's going to shoot the three. Akpinar's a shooter as well. Schroeder's almost certainly going to go. And Georgia still have a foul to give, though, as well.
Peace. Long ball, Schroeder. They almost pulled off the set play. You see Dixon and Schroeder there, good sportsmanship. 55-52. We have a good one here in Tel Aviv. EuroBasket 2017, fourth quarter on its way. Well, you can follow your own team, your own players, and create your own experience with the FIBA EuroBasket 2017 app. Download it now on iOS and Android. And of course, join the conversation with the hashtag EuroBasket 2017 on social media. Some highlights from the third quarter. Germany started slow. Georgia was in front, and then Germany found a way to weather the storm and get themselves back in the game and lead.
Story of players, wasn't it? Dixon came out ready to play, comes up with 8 big points in a hurry. And he makes that one off the dribble, and he was ready for the second half. It tells you a lot about Germany, that Georgia gave them the best shot they had to get that little lead, built the 5-6 point lead. Germany not phased, not getting out of their rotations, trusting each other, and getting plays from Artenstein that is a real bonus. And the youngster has really stamped himself on this game as a contributor.
Yeah.
What a performance for him. But Schroeder, when it comes down to it, Schroeder just gives this German team that little bit extra. Shengelia, who was the guy giving it extra for Georgia, has had a quiet third period. It's just set up so great for a fourth quarter. Germany, just as we say, down 6, end up 3. That tells you a lot about where their confidence is as a group and in each other.
Foul trouble that plagued them in the first half, no longer a factor. They were able to stay out of that in the third quarter. So we'll see who closes down the stretch as they sit Schroeder on the bench right now. Dixon still in the game for Georgia.
I think he sat down for 10 seconds on that one play.
Shengelia went up and absolutely smushed the bug on the glass there. Tice pulled down the rebound and he got fouled. Look at Shengelia. So athletic. 14 on the clock here. Both teams came away with victories in their first game in the group stage. A win here puts them in control, really, of their own destiny as we go forward here in Group B. Nice look! The newest Boston Celtic introducing himself to the rim. 5-point game. Sanaze inside. Shamardini, offensive foul. No basket. Got the elbow up a little bit high there.
I still have an issue with some of these calls in this one. Let's have a look.
Oh, I don't know. After second look here.
Yeah, he did lead and then give a little bit of action with it. But no need for it either. He had the middle. And this is a 5-point lead without Schroeder on the floor. This is, again, Fleming doing a great job balancing his minutes out.
Ice misses there. Dixon. He was terrific in that third quarter. Shengelia trying to force his way to the rim that time. Couldn't overcome the German D. Benzing was thinking about slamming it home, and he lost possession out of bounds.
It's great help by Bartel on that play. Didn't even want to get involved in trying to block it, just took away the drive lane. And as a team, they really did collapse to the middle well then. Shengelia really, to be hard on him, should have probably kicked it, because there was four German shirts inside the keyway. Everyone's queuing up on the perimeter on that one.
Sanaze. Shamardini spins away from the D, attacking, gets it up, too strong off glass. Bartel pulls it down. Credit Bartel for keeping his head, staying in this game. He had a tough start to it, and an offensive foul down low called on Tice.
Yeah, it's you can't do that. You can't wrap your arms around and put your palms on the other player.
Well, the game picking up in physicality now. Dixon was fouled many feet away from the bucket. Akpinar trying to be aggressive with him. He still is. Right up against him.
You just got a glimpse of Coach Fleming and Schroeder literally mapping out the last 8 minutes of this game. It can't be long before Schroeder comes back.
Dixon. working ever so hard right now, almost turning it over. It was lucky there. Akpinar getting a hand from the German crowd on for his defensive effort on Dixon.
Georgia have gone very one pass and then very dribble happy in the last few possessions. Whereas before they would move the ball and create advantage for Sangalia. He's had to do it almost too early without any ball movement, and the German defense is like lining up, and they haven't really looked to release anyone on the perimeter to shoot the ball. It's been easier for the German defense at the start of the fourth.
Well, there's Dixon's rest that we were looking for here in the second half. It comes with 8 minutes to go in the game. Marcus Feely, big-time shot maker in the game for him. He's on the ball now, pulls up for two, goes glass, no good. Bartel vacuums it in. Sangalia trying to come away with the steal. Lowe picked it up. Bartel, Benzing's been quiet. This is the three from the corner, short. And Sanzaze with the flat-footed rebound. No field goals in almost 5 minutes for Germany. Sanzaze floats one home.
And how many times have we said, Sanaze's in there to score? Just again creates, gets his feet set, little floater.
Where will the offense come from for Germany right now?
Well, still no Schroeder, still not getting off the bench at the moment.
Could it be from Benzing for three? Robert Benzing shouting over at his bench saying, don't worry, I got the offense right here.
2 for 9, he desperately needed that. Shooters never stop shooting.
60-54. Sangalia sets the screen. Sanzaze back to Sangalia. He has a smaller low on him, didn't realize that the shot clock was ticking down, and it's a violation. Germany's D tightening up here.
And again, it's the fact, for me, it's the fact that the ball is where it is. It's being dribbled far too much. The penetration isn't very decisive, so the German defense is like more and more collapsing to the middle, more and more saying, hey, you're not moving it, we'll stay here. As we see the Benzing three with people all over him.
He shot over 50% in game one. Got one to go here now. Akpinar in the corner. Nice take! Akpinar showed the ball and blew right by the defender. Timeout Georgia. 62-54. Germany confident.
Well, that man right there. Zaza Pachulia's got to come back soon for Georgia. Dixon has to come back. But that last penetration shows exactly what Schroeder can do. He comes straight back into the game, draws the help. And you've got to give Akpinar a lot of credit. The closeout was poor, yes, but he didn't think. Straight down the middle after Schroeder had created the space. Great job.
Fellas, keep your heads. Keep your heads. We'll find solutions. Keep your heads. We'll find solutions. We'll go back to the horse.
You hear it there from the head coach. All about composure. They are in the lead right now, 62-54. He's telling them keep their heads, and you have to say that to a squad that's quite young. 24 years of age is the average age here on Germany.
And that's for a team that, if we're right, and they do have potential to go a long way in the competition, they've got to learn how to close out these types of games. It's dead easy for us to sit here and say, oh yeah, if they ran this and they moved the ball. But the last play gives you a lot of confidence if you're a German fan, because Schroeder down the middle could have just put it up. Tough shot over a big man, gave it to Akpinar, who then said, hey, there's a wide open option. Whether I'm doing this in my club practice or in my national, this is what I've got to do. And Akpinar was an interesting selection for the Germans, but at the moment, you've got to say, Coach Fleming is 100% on decisions.
So far, so good. He's had some tough ones to make.
Yep.
Had some talent that he wished could have been here, but the team that's here has been tight, and they've played great basketball so far here in this Group B. Can Georgia respond after the timeout? That's the question we'll ask. Still no Zaza Pachulia as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Sanzaze for three, left it short. Akpinar pulls it down, and here comes Schroeder. Oozing with confidence as he gets up the floor. That would have been a tough catch.
Yeah, tough catch.
Tice.
Yeah, jeez.
Look out. Singalia to the rim. Offensive foul. Dennis Schroeder stepping in, then taking the charge right in the chest.
Oh, Sangalia's got a look on his face. He can't believe it. But let's take a look.
How about that?
He's outside the circle, yes. He got his feet set, yes.
Wow.
And he put his body on the line for his country. That's why this guy's leading this team.
Area's probing. Benzing for three. Indeed.
Oh.
Robert Benzing starting to cook here in the fourth.
Huge advantage now for Germany. What a play by Schroeder again. That's twice he's penetrated, twice he's shared it with his teammates, twice they've answered and stepped up.
Sanaze, he's fouled by Schroeder. Schroeder had his hand caught in his pocket.
This three-point percentage, you question sometimes. We said about Georgia a little bit too much. Put it on the floor and try and force it. They're shooting over 40% from the three-point line. They've only taken 7.
Yeah.
They've got guys who can fill it up, and they've got a little bit penetrate, happy, and the Germans are standing in the key wave, forcing them to take tough ones.
Skip past there. Oh, they say it bounced out of bounds before Voigtman got a hand to it.
Got to credit the defense in the way that it's taking away space. It's taking away. And this is about preparation. This is about where they want the ball to go and where they're forcing it.
It's an 11-point game. Dangerous time now for Georgia. Zaza Pachulia back into the game. In the middle of your screen right now, floater in his face is by Schroeder. The man cannot be stopped at the moment.
And great decisions. There he had space. People stayed at home, just took the floater. Schroeder just, what a leader.
23 and counting for Schroeder. Sangalia's been quiet in the second half, still ice cold. Schroeder, Akpinar, way ahead the pack, and then Schroeder says, no, let's run something. Voigtman sets for Schroeder. A tough pass there for him to catch. But Julia, look out, down the lane. Soft touch, can't get it to go. He wanted the foul, and no whistle came.
Would love to see it again because I'm thinking he really should have finished the play regardless of the foul. Sometimes big guys don't get enough protection because they're big and the referee says it's not having an effect. It's amazing what can have an effect on a shot. Well, that's twice they've shown that little double team action, and they've come up with 2 turnovers straight away, and they're not dead in this game by any means. There's only 4 to go, but this Georgian team can score in a hurry.
They sure can, especially with the long ball if they can start to get it to go. Here's a man that could get them hot. Dixon was blocked. Schroeder the other way. Akpinar was open for 3, and that's another turnover from Schroeder.
That's 3 straight turnovers after making 4 great decisions.
Yeah,
3 straight turnovers.
Akpinar ready and waiting to launch a 3. Timeout on the floor, 4 minutes left in the game. Germany up 67-54.
Well, it's a very difficult set of circumstances now for Coach Zuras. You know, he's in the blink of an eye. Germany, apart from that small period where they trailed, they've had a 3, 4, 5-point lead. And with 3 great decisions, Schroeder's just broken the game wide open. And by quarter, 2 points for Georgia, and they have been they look a tired team. And after a day off, that's a little bit hard to understand. And was that Dixon going for too long? Who knows? But 2 points in 6 minutes for a team of their quality. 2 things for me. 1, too much dribble, allowing the German defense to fill the middle and actually not have to guard people on the perimeter. And they're just forcing it into areas where they're getting low percentage looks. And as we said on the stat when it came up, they're shooting over 40% from the three-point line. They're just not taking any.
Yeah. It's tough to win, or tough to make threes if you're not going to take them.
Yeah.
We questioned at the beginning of the game whether or not, as we see Robin Benzing getting hot here in the fourth quarter, 11 points so far. We questioned whether Georgia would be able to get back to that emotional high that they were on after game one. Right now, looking a little fatigued here late in the fourth. Can they get back there? There's still time in this game, and it needs to happen now. Pachulia, yes.
Well, and the other factor here is if they are going to lose, they don't want to lose big, because we don't think anyone's going unbeaten in this group. So they don't want to, they don't want a 15-point negative in their column. Still time to get him back and challenge for the win.
Voigtman with 7 on the clock. Pachulia stuck his hand in there, and a travel by Voigtman.
Well, they've had the stops. You know, the 3 turnovers, and then they get the points from Pachulia. They've had the stops, now they've got to stick it over. Possession by possession, 3:20 to go, more than enough time.
Germany showing the full court press. Sinzaze. Winner today will get to the top of the group until Italy plays later on. Italy plays the Ukraine in game 2 here in Tel Aviv. Sinzaze for 3, left it short. And that goes out of bounds.
Well, now even Georgia start to doubt themselves, because for the first time in the last few possessions, Sangalia caught it outside the 3. No German playing help. They've gone away. You know, he's out of that rhythm now. There was a chance to penetrate. He turned it down because he's had issues going on the last few possessions.
Akpinar just left the game and received the ovation from the crowd. Low and Schroeder on the floor together. We saw it in the first quarter, not since. Here's Schroeder. They want to close this out, do Germany. Benzing pulls up. Tries to follow his own miss, but Pachulia vacuums that in. Still time for Georgia, but it needs to happen fast. Markashvili, he can make some big shots.
So again, he's got to catch and go. The baseline was wide open for him.
Well, he takes his time instead and misses, but Pachulia there to back him up. He gets fouled, and it's an unsportsmanlike.
Big call.
A huge call here. So it'll be 2 free throws and the ball, just what Georgia needed. Voigtman picks up his 4th.
Yeah, it's an unsportsmanlike foul. You've got no chance of getting the ball. Pachulia did a great job moving Voigtman sideways to get the offensive rebound. He literally just took him.
All the tricks in the book this guy has.
Absolutely.
Pachulia has been pretty good from the free throw line so far in the tournament, but 2 big ones here for his country.
He needs both. They need to score from the possession, and they're right back in it. He better make this. He's got to make this one, and again, score from the possession.
Makes the 2nd. And now here's the possession that they need to bring it within single digits before the 2-minute mark. Dixon on the floor, looking for it. He was clutch late last game against Lithuania and then gives it away here to Benzing. Benzing slowing it down, looking for his all-star point guard, Schroeder.
Wow, that's a great play by Benzing. Came over the top of the screen and chased it, just wanted the steal, played for the steal. I think now for Georgia, it's a little bit damage limitation.
And it's Schroeder time. That's going to be a shot clock violation. The ball never touched the rim. Georgia come away with the defensive stop that they needed, but a lot of time came off of that clock, the full 24 allotted to Germany. Timeout on the floor. It's a 10-point game, 67-57. Georgia trying to stay within it here late in the 4th.
Well, they're going to get the ball in the front court, obviously, to advance it in the last 2 minutes. But you know, there was no, but you talked about the emotion and the drain of emotion from the previous game. There wasn't a lot of energy going into that timeout as they walked to the bench for Coach Zurich's timeout. He's got to draw up something here that gets him a very, very quick and good look. If he doesn't, you really got to think they've got to attack it. And then they have fouls to give. It's a situation where it's Germany's to lose now.
Can a young team stay composed is the question we'll ask for the entire tournament, beyond this game even. Because now the message is out there. Win, lose, or draw in this game, the message is out there. This is not the young team that many people were expecting. This has now become one of the teams to beat here in Group B.
Interesting in that timeout again for Coach Fleming. He had his assistant take part of the timeout about this is how we're going to defend right now. You know, that's a role responsibility thing for them, and that shows you he's running a very, very effective team. And there is a group of guys there, players and coaches, on the same page. And then Fleming just came in and finished the timeout. Be interesting to see what they do show here defensively against a team that wants a quick one.
Zaze. They're looking for Marcashvili on the curl. They get him now. He puts up a three, it's blocked. Great defense by Germany.
Well, give the assistant coach the credit, a lot of credit in the way he organized his defense there. They didn't get the first option they wanted.
Offensive foul called on Voigtman, and I think that's it. An early exit for him in this game. That's his 5th. Tough night for him. Bartel will check in to replace him. It's a little too late. I think that's the guard's fault too, going a little too early.
It's always that combination. You know, have the composure, White, get your angles correct.
Another turnover here for Georgia, and it's falling apart late for a team that had such an emotional win against Lithuania. A 2-point victory on match day 1, but they seem like they can't follow it up with another one here on match day 2, and now it's an uphill battle the rest of the way in Group B. Doesn't get any easier. Benzing, too strong. Another offensive rebound. They were doing a great job of that in the first half, and it continues here in the second. German supporters making some noise now. Bartel, straightaway three, no good. And Zaze pulls it down. Now it's all about the point spread. Trying to get some baskets here to make sure that that point spread isn't too wide. Pachulia airballs it and then fouls Bartel on the rebound. Not yet in the penalty. So it'll be a side out for Germany. Tough game for Pachulia after having such a terrific game, controlling it on so many ways against Lithuania. Just couldn't find the rhythm here against Germany.
The German defense has been absolutely phenomenal. And you love it as a coach when a team's scores go down every quarter. And that's what they've done to Georgia. Every single quarter, they've restricted their points.
Georgia has 5 points here in the 4th quarter. Not going to get it done in winning time. Schroeder pulls up. Too strong. 7 seconds to go in the game. And again, the defense still so tough as Lowe slapped it away. Akpinar will check in for Schroeder, who will get the hand as he leaves the game.
Well, he's got a hand from everybody. Even some of the Georgian fans are applauding him because he's just put in another great day in the office.
23 points to lead Germany to the 10-point victory here in Tel Aviv. Germany 2-0 and sit at the top of Group B at EuroBasket 2017.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you our floating area is just outside. Gates number 2, number 4, and number 6.
Well, we asked the question, didn't we, at the beginning of the game in terms of how they would deal with Shengelia. They found a way, and you've got to say they found a way because they got contributions off the bench, Germany. Heistein was phenomenal. You know, Shengelia had 8 at the half, only 12 on the game. He was responsible for I think the big emotional play of the game when Schroeder took the charge. And this German team is for real. It's only game 2 of a EuroBasket, but they are for real because they're well prepared. They've got confidence in each other. You've made the point on a number of occasions that they are a group of guys. And if you can get contributions out of guys like Harstein off the bench, you are definitely for real. 42% from the 2 is nothing to go crazy about, and 32% only from the 3. But they defensively were just so good.
Again.
You know, absolutely. They found a way. They are prepared. They stopped Georgia getting what they wanted, and that's all you can try and do. Great execution by their staff. Great execution by their players. Hey, let's not write Georgia off. 57 points today is not them. They're going to go through this competition and be a real factor. But Schroeder with 23 points, he's the real deal.
He absolutely is. Led the way for Germany in this 10-point victory. All credit in the world for the 19-year-old Hartenstein coming off the bench. Absolutely changed the game one. It looked as though that may be a trouble point for Germany, but they went to the 19-year-old and he stood up and stepped up in a big way. Pachulia was the leading scorer for Georgia with 14. Sengelia had 12, but not much in that second half. Going forward now, Germany controlling their own destiny. They sit at top right now with a game to play with Italy later on today. But Germany now sits at top of the Group B here with, you know, everything to play for and an opportunity sights on potentially running the table.
Yeah, absolutely. They could win the table. They could really do that. That's a great, just to echo the one thing, that's a great defensive performance. They came up with 13 steals. They turned Georgia over 24 times. This is EuroBasket basketball. That is not a stat that you see very often.
No.
And that's about not just one-on-one. That's about the way they ran their team defense. That's just a really well-prepared performance by a very good team. Very good team indeed. Germany will play the host Israel tomorrow in the last game on day 3. Georgia will play the Ukraine in the first game on day 3. We will see you back here for Ukraine v. Italy on match day 2, game 2. For Mark Clark, I'm Carlin Gay. So long from Israel.